Okay, hello. It's been a while. So today, I thought that I would draw some inspiration from a YouTuber who did a video talking about her least favorite K drama tropes. And while she primarily watches K dramas, I watch K dramas, J dramas, T dramas, Filipino dramas. There's no limit. The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
So, I thought that she has some good points in her least favorite tropes, but she also had a favorite tropes video as well. Although I felt like me doing that would have been nonsensical since we pretty much have the exact same favorite reasons why we love K dramas, and in my case, Asian dramas as a whole. So today I'm going to talk about my least favorite Asian drama tropes. And I will link her video down below. I would highly suggest watching it. I will leave her least favorite dramas trope and the favorite dramas trope in the description below. And you should go watch that and then come back and watch this one because her video is worlds better than mine will ever be. Let's get on to my least favorite Asian drama tropes, and in no particular order. I just jotted these down as I thought of them. So, first on the list, the main characters separating completely of their own volition. Now, what I mean by that is that I do not mind if main characters split up, if there is a solid and good reason for it. For instance, if there is a third character who is causing the MCs to have to separate, like they won't let them be together and they have no choice but to be separated. Great examples of this, Fall in Love with Me is an amazing drama that does this so well. So well. And even in Fall in Love with Me, there is a moment where the male lead leaves of his own volition, but it is for a purpose. He leaves, but he doesn't really leave because spoilers. Spoilers, and then I'll put a timestamp here for when you should continue watching again. So in the drama, he is pretending to be two people, his real self and his fake self, which is why it's called Fall in Love with Me, or alternate title, Fall in Love with Two of Me. So he is pretending to be a nicer version of himself, which is why the female lead falls for that version of himself. But as he develops feelings for her, he realizes that he wants her to love the real him. So he leaves, by which he stops pretending to be the nicer version of himself in order to try and get the female lead to fall for the real him. This I can accept, okay? Because it's for a purpose. He's trying to get her to fall in love with real him and realize that the real him isn't as bad as she thinks that he is. So I can accept this. What I can't accept is when time after time the characters just decide that, oh, I can't be with this person because I'm going to hurt their status or their career by being with them. And that's just sloppy writing. Examples of this include Love Me or Leave Me, Miss Rose, Love Rain, Love Family, The Fierce Wife, Fated to Love You. And why I hate this is just like, you've already come so far in the relationship, and yet this minuscule thing you're being insecure about, and it's going to cause you to leave the person that you love and hurt both of you For what? You could just be together and not have to suffer. That's an option. Oh, another reason for leaving, like medical conditions. This happened in Love Family at the end, and it's a primary reason why I hate Chris Wang, even though he was in a drama that I actually did like, but it's the only one. So at the end of Love Family, and spoilers, although I'm not recommending Love Family for anybody because it was crap, because of this very reason, he discovers that he has genes that could cause him to develop Alzheimer's over time. Not even that he has Alzheimer's. He could potentially develop Alzheimer's further down the line because of his genetics. So he decides to leave the girl. And if that was it. But it's not. She pretends to be pregnant. And it takes her literally sitting in the gynecologist's office in the stirrups for him to be like, no, I want to be with you. After weeks of her trying to convince him to stay with, get back with her. Oh gosh. I can't. If you are going to separate from the person that you love and hurt both of you in the process, then why should I care about your relationship? If you don't even care enough to protect your relationship, to fight for your relationship through everything. If it's an outside force, I can forgive that because that's not your fault. You're still trying and fighting to be together. But when it's an inside force and you're doing it of your own volition, no. So basically, 2 or 3, whichever, however you want to look at the second option, when dramas take romantic moments and only use them for comedy. If a drama cannot even take the romantic relationship seriously, why should I? Why would I take the relationship seriously if you're just using it for laughs and you're not even taking it seriously? I don't understand this. I recently watched Proud of Love. And I think I wanted to watch the first season because I saw a clip of the second season and it looked good. Although I don't remember. And I watched the whole season. And instead of actually developing the relationship, they shoehorn in that they had already fell for each other. And then every romantic moment was like, oh, they fell down the stairs and kissed. It's just stupid. Oh gosh. It's so stupid. This is not an attack on anybody who likes this drama. It's just, I can't take a relationship seriously if you're not even going to properly develop it and only treat it as comedy. Oh, another example of this, When a Woman Chases a Man. I hated that drama so much. And even worse than treating the romantic moments as comedic strictly is the fact that any actual chemistry between them only happened when they were drunk. And outside of that, they treated each other like crap. Wow. Dramas that have misunderstandings that create problems for the main couple simply because they didn't properly explain something, or a misunderstanding was brought up and the other party didn't say anything or even attempt to explain, allowing the misunderstanding to continue for cheap drama. Now I am trash. I love drama. I love a good cliche. I love conflict. I love trash. Okay? What I do not love is that, okay, inevitably misunderstandings happen. Okay, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Misunderstandings will happen. What I will not tolerate, dramas that do this, just you. And if you haven't seen Just You, it's okay. But I'm about to spoil some shit. So, I'll put a timestamp right here for when you can watch again. If you still want to go watch Just You, you could watch it or leave it. Take your pick. So, the main character enacts a no romance in the office rule because of his ex, which he has told the female lead about. Surprise, surprise, the ex comes back. And the female lead is like, are you going to choose me or her? And the male lead doesn't really answer her. And so she takes that to mean that he's going to go back to his ex, rightfully so. And yet he wants to be with her. He still pursues being with the main female lead. But at no point was he like, when the female lead would push him away because she's like, no, you're going to go back to your ex. At no point did he think that it would be a wise decision to tell her that he has no intentions of getting back with his ex and he wants to be with her. I don't. Moving on. Tsundere's being presented as abusive or mistaken as abusive. Because let's be completely frank here. A tsundere does not equal abusive. There are many examples of tsunderes who are not abusive. Reno Kunimura, Shin from Amnesia. These are anime examples, of course. While on that topic, examples of tsunderes being mistaken as abusive include Missing Kiss, Playful Kiss, Meteor Garden, and then also Beating Again, which is, I believe I mentioned this in my least favorite dramas video. Beating Again is the only drama that I have ever dropped at 6 episodes because the male lead was a jerk, and both the male lead and the secondary male character violated the main female's consent on multiple occasions. Who am I supposed to root for? The jerk who also violates the main female consent, or the secondary male lead who pushes himself on the female lead and consistently violates her consent? Who am I supposed to root for? Don't know. Meteor Garden. They pass off his abuse as immature and quirky, and it's great because abuse is it's quirky and cute. That's what everyone should aspire for. Especially when she was having a panic attack while he was sexually assaulting her on the roof, and he was telling her that it was her fault that he was assaulting her. It's so tsundere. That's so cute, and so many great things. It's such a healthy relationship. And then dramas that do this trope right again. Fall in Love with Me, Good Morning Call, Cheese and Trap. Oh my gosh, I love Cheese and Trap. Oh my gosh. I recently watched Cheese and Trap. I died. Just burst into flames. I may do a review on that, so I will hold off on my thoughts until later. But again, Fall in Love with Me. Yeah, the main guy is kind of a jerk, but he's not abusive. Morning Call. Again, because Japan is where the tsundere trope originates from, a Japanese drama, Good Morning Call, does this trope extremely, extremely well. He is shy and reserved and just wants his space. Who can't understand that? And At no point does he verbally or physically assault the female lead. He simply expresses his disdain that she can't keep her grimy hands off his stuff. By stuff, I mean his actual physical stuff, not his dramas that use and misuse mental health. More specifically, trauma or PTSD. Dramas that do this well: Love Myself for You, Hijackle Me, Kill Me, Heal Me, do a fantastic job of showcasing mental health. In Kill Me, Heal Me and Hijackle Me, they both feature a main character who has multiple personality syndrome. They do a fantastic job of showcasing the mental struggle and of explaining why the brain creates new personalities when it is in such trauma. They do a good job of showcasing the actual trauma that led them to create multiple personalities, as well as Hijackle Me has the female lead. She experiences trauma in the present time when I believe a guy tries to kill her or to kill the main character. I can't remember. But she almost gets killed as well, and she gets choked out. She blacks out, and since she is the sole witness, they have her go to a therapist to try and unlock the events that happened because she blocked it out. They do a fantastic job of showcasing the mental health of why people block things out. That's a defense mechanism by the brain because the trauma is dangerous. And then in Love Myself for You, the main character developed trauma from his brother consistently locking him in a closet in the dark. So he can't be in the dark or else he'll have a panic attack because he has PTSD. And where you're going to notice that I differentiate this from other dramas that do what I'm about to explain, is that his trauma is also linked to the female lead because they were childhood friends. So when his brother would be a jerk and lock him in the closet for hours in the dark while his brother is having a panic attack, she would come over and basically shine light on the situation and save him. So he associates her with relief from the trauma, essentially. In other dramas such as What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Innocent Love, the trauma is well explained, as well as the PTSD symptoms that the main characters deal with. However, both of these simply have this trauma go away when the main characters get together, which is not how trauma works. Like in Innocent Love, while I hate it for many, many reasons, what tipped me over the edge was that the female lead had started to remember things from her trauma, triggering anxiety attacks from people even walking past her on the street and brushing against her. And it would spiral her into a full-on anxiety panic attack where she would be on the ground in hysterics. Later, tells the male lead all about her past, what she remembered, why she was acting so weird previously because she had started to remember her trauma. And the male lead is, oh, that's great, I'll be here, I'll protect you, you don't have to worry anymore, we'll get through this, essentially. Except they go back to his house, and he goes to kiss her, which would be fine if not previously been established that she can't even tolerate touching people. She pushes him away. And instead of taking that as a cue to not continue, he simply grabs her, pulls her back, and kisses her anyway. Because that's not extremely triggering or anything for somebody who suffers PTSD, non-consensual sexual contact. From her father, by the way. I forgot to mention that. She gets sexually assaulted for, I think, like a year or 2 years by her father. Yeah, that's not extremely triggering to have your consent violated in the name of love. But I guess, love conquers PTSD. And what's wrong with Secretary Kim? I know a lot of people like this. I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this. He also had trouble, the main character also had trouble being intimate with even the female lead, who was present during his trauma. She was present there, and he even had trouble being intimate with her. He had went to kiss her, I think it was twice or something, and each time he would have flashbacks to his trauma and push her away. But as soon as they officially start dating, that kind of just goes away. So I have issues with that because, again, not how trauma works. I don't care how much somebody loves you, it's not going to take away your trauma. It's not how it works. And lastly, bad endings. Now, I often didn't understand why channels like Glass Reflection would say that endings are paramount. Especially like growing up watching anime. A lot of anime are open-ended. Let's just be honest, especially as much romance as I watch, you're gonna get some open-ended endings and just gonna have to be okay with it. I learned to be okay with it with Vampire Night. I learned to be okay with it with K over there. Yeah, I have a K poster over there, you can't see it. You just, with Soul Eater, you just learn to be okay with it. Sure, endings are important, but they do not make or break the show. However, in lieu of recent events, I've watched a lot of bad dramas with a lot of bad endings, and a lot of good dramas with a lot of bad endings. So let's go down the list. And let me emphasize, when I say a bad ending, I do not mean a sad ending. A sad ending is not a bad ending. For the simple fact that at least if there's a sad ending, being that a character dies, or usually it's a character death. Let's just be honest. At least then you still have closure. You still maintain that connection to the characters. And everything that the drama put you through still has meaning because you still feel for those characters. You still have an attachment to those characters. Whereas a bad ending leaves you feeling empty and without closure. Example of a sad ending. Recently I watched Bloody Romance, and it was bloody brilliant, let me tell you. And yes, pun intended. So Bloody Romance, spoilers. But I feel like saying that this has a sad ending isn't really a spoiler because I knew from like episode 5 after really listening to the opening, I could tell that it's such a sad opening and song that the drama was there was probably like a 90% chance that the drama was going to have a sad ending, just based off the opening alone and how the opening sequence was curated. So it has a sad ending, but it did not disrupt my enjoyment of the show in the least, especially since I already, knew this is probably going to have a bad ending, since the opening is so sad and it curates the feeling of sadness. Why would they have such a sad opening if it wasn't going to have a bad ending? I mean, not bad ending, sad ending. And the ending is even satisfying. You have closure from the ending, although a lot of people think that the ending, there's two different scenarios for the ending. The other scenario just doesn't make sense. If you watch the show, I might do a video review for Bloody Romance. I don't know. I have a written review for it, so there's that. I might do a video review of it. Don't know. But it has a sad ending, and the ending is still good. Do I wish that it had ended differently? Yeah, because it was really sad. But am I mad at the ending? No, because, just not. I know a lot of people don't like sad endings. I like sad endings. I love Quainhead. I love Air. I love Angel Beats. And they have the saddest anime endings in all of anime history. It's just like when you feel that deep connection to the characters enough to cry with them when they cry, to feel for them through their trials and tribulations. That's good. That's great. And then recent examples of dramas that I've watched that have really bad and disappointing endings. Between, which initially I thought I was going to drop it from episode 2. And then it picked up. And it was great. And it was fantastic. And then it ended with the female lead not having broken up with the male lead and then not choosing the secondary male lead. What was the point of the whole drama if in the beginning she was single and alone, and in the end she's single and alone? And the reason she broke up with the male lead is because he was too supportive. Oh gosh, I hate bad endings. And that's it. Those are my least favorite drama tropes. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you've gone and watched Marie's video and subscribed to her. But yeah,